Alright, hey guys, SubakSupreme here, and I actually got a Pokemon, my first legit one in a while, so hope you guys enjoy it, and let's jump into said battle. Alright, so, here we go. Alright, we both lead off with our Rotom washes here. Now, I'm a Spectre Rotom, and I'm gonna go for the Volt Switch, assuming he's Scarfed like most are, so I was thinking he'd go for the Volt Switch first, and I'd get my Spectre one off and get Switch advantage, but no, he actually does, he goes for the Will-O-Wisp instead, so I would like to say I predicted that, but I didn't. But now that I know he's a normal, like, bulkier Rotom, I'm expecting the Hydro Pump, so I'm going to my Breloom to take that, plus get my Toxic Orb at the same time. But he is a Chesto Resto, so, which is a very unique and effective set. But I get up my Toxic Orb without taking any damage whatsoever, so now he switches out into his Bayonet, predicting the Spore now. It does have Insomnia, but I really do not see the point of running a Bayonet. Like, I guess for Insomnia, that's kind of been situational, but it really does not seem to do anything that, like, I don't know. I feel like a Sableye would be better, just burning things or something like that, and taunting to block that Spore, whatever. So I go into my Heatran, assuming I can wall whatever it can do. And also, I'm going to try to set up my Stealth Rocks, because he has a Cloyster and a Volcarona on his team, and apparently I do wall him, because he switches out. So now he goes into a Starmie, so I don't want to take a boosted Hydro Pump. So I'm going to leave, and I'm going to go into my Rotom, get that nice Volt Switch, get that Switch advantage, all that good stuff. And he actually goes for the Rain Dance, begins with an R, but it is not Rapid Spin. So it's like, that's effective on a Rain team and stuff, but I really don't see the point of running on this type of team, because it does help, like, a good amount of his member, but it just hinders Volcarona, which does seem to be one of his main sweepers. And if anything, if you want Rain, just run a Politoed, in my opinion. So, here we go. Alright, so I Volt Chomp to my Teraki, knowing it can threaten a good chunk of his team, bar the Scissor, which does come in. So now, I do not want to take that Bullet Punch, so I'm going to switch out into the best check to a lot of physical attackers, the one and only Skarmory. So, he goes for that said Bullet Punch. I'm glad it wasn't the U-turn, just because then he could get into one of his deadlier sweepers and start to put pressure on me. But anyway, so I just go for the Whirlwind because I want to rack up as much hazard damage on as I can, especially with Volcarona and Cloyster. So I just go for that Whirlwind, and it whirlwinds him back into Scissor. So it's like, alright, I'll just go for another one. The U-turns or switches, either way, it's going to rack up more hazard damage and just weaken his team as a whole. So he goes for the U-turn this time, does a measly 8%. And he goes back into his Rotom. So it's pretty much, it's kind of funny, it's kind of like their Volt turn in here like they do, but then it's just like counter Volt turns, like Whirlwind in a way. So basically, since he is stuck in the Switcher get Whirlwind, he has to get Whirlwind into the correct Pokemon. So what I would do if this was me, I'm assuming this is a banded Scissor because it's not taking leftovers of Life Orb. It could have an Akka possibly, but if it did, it'd probably go for like, whatever. Anyway, the point is, I would have went for, like, Superpower or something to weaken this down. Get Whirlwinded in, possibly, to the Rotom or the my Volcarona, and then kill the Skarmory. But that's what I would have done. Anyway, so, finally, it does Whirlwind him to his Cloyster, and I get some Rock Damage. It really doesn't, it's not like it mattered if it Whirlwinded him to him, just I want to get some hazard damage off of him. So, I don't know why he went for the Shell Smash here, because I definitely could have lived, Icicle Spear, and if he sets up, I could just Whirlwind him, as I have been doing for like the past 5 turns. So misplan his part, but it doesn't really cost him like anything. So here we go. All right. So now he does get into his Rotom without like all the shenanigans. So I'm predicting the Volt Switch. I go into my Heatran just because I can hit like Scizor, Volcarona. But the peculiar thing is he actually does go into his Volcarona. So why are you going to your Volcarona? So I'm like, all right, Hidden Power Ground. I personally like to run Hidden Power Rock on my Volcarona just because I feel like it deals with so much more of its counters. But that's just me. Alright, so I go into my Rotom, and he goes for the Quiver Dance here, which is like, I was thinking, well, maybe he doesn't have Hidden Power Ground, but at the same time, if he did, I could have, like, poisoned him or hit him with a fatal blow, like a fatal attack. So that was pretty, like, I guess, risky on his part. But it worked out in the end, so good for him, whatever. So going to my Scarf Terrakion. So, I go for the Stones, but of course, most unreliable move in the game. Which is kind of like, it's kind of true, kind of not, because like, what about like Fisher or like Zapcan, but no one uses those moves. But the point is, it missed, and that sucks balls. So, I go into my Latios. Basically, I have to pull some smart switching here, because it does have the Life Orb. So, I'm like, alright, it's gonna go for the Bug Buzz. So, I go into my Heatran, And basically now I'm like, alright, most likely going to be an H hidden power ground, so it's like, alright, we're going to Skarmory, you know? Pretty much just trying to weaken that Life Orb damage. That's basically what we're trying to do. Alright, so it does go for that HP ground right here, which is very nice, but apparently it's just like, oh, news to me. If it doesn't make contact, the Life Orb doesn't work, so that kind of sucks, but whatever. I am in sturdy range so I could survive the attack, but I do not want to. I'd rather keep my Skarmory for the Scissor. So he does predict the Heatran coming, and not that it really matters at this point. But that is nice for me, because more Life Orb damage, so that is good. So now I'm going to go into my Skarmory again, because I do have sturdy, but I do want to keep it. Just bait him into the Fire Dance so I can go my Latios. No, he only has one Life Orb hit left. And it only does half, and he's like at +2, but he does have an odd number of amount of HP because he has that 1%, so I need one more Life Orb kill. So now he goes through the Fiery Dance again, I guess predicting that, but really doesn't matter because I have Sturdy, so I will live that, and now Volcarona finally does go down. So now I'm at 1 HP, so it's like pretty much death fodder at this point. So, and all I have left is Breloom and Latios, so if I had to suffer another Fatal Sweep, I would lose. So, knowing this, instead of roosting or going for a layer of spikes, I go for the Whirlwind to, just in case he does decide to set up, just get rid of him, pretty much. Because he will be at 25% when he comes in, and a measly 25. Pretty much any one of my remaining members can easily finish him off, unless he has Ice Shard. So now he does go into Rotom, so Skarmory will in fact be death fodder, because I have no more use for it at such a low amount of HP, and plus to get the switch advantage since he went for the Volt switch. So he goes into his Scizor, and the only Pokemon I really have that can possibly counter is Breloom. Now he is afraid of my Spore, so he goes into his Bana, and again, it's like, oh, it's great you have a Pokemon with Insomnia, but really, you should have, like, a more useful poke. Maybe one with Natural Cure instead if you're worried about it, I don't know. But that's my point of view. So now, I'm going to go for the Bulk Up, which is it's kind of a newer set, newly discovered set, but it's a very effective one. Basically, it handles Volt turn teams very well, because it can easily handle Rotoms with their Volt switches, Hydro Pump. At the same time, when you get a Bulk Up, you could beat Scissors one-on-one with the combination of just the recovery from Toxic Orb and Drain Punch. And on top of this, you can put another member of the team to sleep. So it is a very disruptive Pokemon. But on the cons of this set, it is slow, and oftentimes it does need support to function, but if you can give it said support, it is a very effective Pokemon. Everyone should give it a try at some point. So basically what happened, as you've seen, he's been doing some icy winds, and I did go for the Seed Bomb. I'm not predicting, I'm just I want to hit this thing. It's starting to become annoying. And even if I went for another Bulk Up, it really wouldn't have mattered, because I could have lived that Ice move with my amount of Bulk Ups, which would have been 2.5 if I went for that other Bulk Up, and I could have just Seed Bombed it. Actually, Drain Punched Math at getting a little bit of more HP back. Seed Bomb this. So basically, he is just stalling. So I'm gonna finish the Bayonet off at this point. Really, if he had something like a Celebi to take stats, which have been kind of more effective. I mean, just for Rotom, it would have helped some members pretty much. Anyway, so he goes into a Scissor, so like I did say before, one-on-one Breloom will win, and look how ridiculous that is. I mean, that's a Banded Scissors Bullet Punch, and it only does 30%. That's ridiculous. Even if it is double the defense, that's still pretty good. That's pretty nice. So basically, he only has his Rotom left, but he does forfeit here, and it says I won, so disregard that, because never mind. But the point is, he forfeits, and even if he did go into Rotom, I would have killed it with the Seed Bomb, being able to take both its stab attacks. And even if he somehow did some crazy way somehow kill him possibly with a crit, Latios could have just came in and cleaned up with Draco Meteor. So basically, good job, McMagic, and that will be the game. So, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, and I will try to get back to you with a team building session, because I'm kind of getting bored of this team, so I'm probably going to make one in the near future. So look forward to that, and I will see you guys later, so peace out.